What's up, everybody? Happy Halloween. It's officially here. The spookiest day of the year, my favorite day of the year. And I thought for today's video, it would be a special one. I know you all like the ranking videos. That's typically is one of the greatest kind of videos that do the best on my channel. A lot of you people like ranking videos. And today, why not talk about the Halloween franchise? You know, I'm such a slasher fan, and it is officially Halloween now. And today we're going to do a ranking that I've never done before, where I'm going to rank the Halloween timelines, because that's what's really fun about the Halloween franchise. There's so many different timelines to talk about. Today you're going to hear my thoughts on them and which ones are my favorite. So let's do this. Roll it. So the Halloween franchise is definitely a lot different when it comes to like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or even the Child's Play franchise, where those are continuous storylines. The movie that typically comes after the previous one is always one that continues the storyline, and it's one through storyline. Where it comes to the Halloween franchise, there's so many different timelines. You could kind of pick your own adventure, because we have, like I said, Halloween 1 through 6 with the Thorn timeline. Then we have Halloween, and then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Then we have the anthology timeline if you just want to do Season of the Witch, or there's the reboot timeline as well if you're more of a Rob Zombie fan and you like the reboots and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 and all that stuff. So it's really fun, this franchise, because you could kind of pick your own adventure. And if there's films you do not like, you can totally skip them and go down a different timeline. Me, like, I have some enjoyment with just about every Halloween film. There's really only 2 Halloween films that I dislike. The rest of the franchise, I'm pretty confident that I just, like I said, I love them. I either like them or I really love them. So this is a franchise that gets a lot of rewatches for me. I'm talking about, as a child, so many October seasons where I would just binge these movies and watch them over and over and over. So let's start discussing the timelines. And at the bottom for me is going to be the anthology timeline, mainly because I was one of those people back in the day when you're binging the movies and you're going to the video store, just renting the movies over and over and over, that got to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and I was like, where's my Michael Myers? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was one of those kids, you know, just renting the movies, and then you pop on Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and you're like about an hour in, and you're like, where's my Michael? Where's Michael Myers? You know what I mean? So Season of the Witch, I think, has a lot of Halloween atmosphere. It's got a really good theme and everything too, but just the story doesn't keep pulling me in. It's not a film that is constantly on my watch list when it comes to October. This is a movie that I've only seen, I want to say, probably like 6 times in my lifetime, so it's just not one that I often return to. I recently did just show my daughter, my middle child, my daughter, and she had fun with it. She liked it and everything when we got to the end, and I had more enjoyment just talking about it with her and kind of talking about my history with the film and all that kind of stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Next up, we have the reboot timeline, and this is one that, like I said, right above the anthology timeline. It's just because I have fun with Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I dislike Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Remember in the beginning I was talking about there are 2 Halloween films in the franchise that I really don't like at all. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is one of them, and that's what kind of sucks about the reboot timeline, is it's just literally half and half. Like, I enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one, dislike Halloween 2, so it's just not a timeline that calls back to me to rewatch or anything like that. Like, the last time I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is when Halloween Ends came out, and I've yet to return to it or want to watch it, and because of that reason, that it's in the same timeline as the first film, it makes me watch that film less and less. Like I said, it's high up in my ranking, the Rob Zombie's first Halloween movie. It's like middle of the road in my ranking and stuff like that. But as the timeline as a whole, it's just because the way the story ends and the way the story takes place in that second film, I just have no desire to really return to it. So that's why this one and the anthology timeline are sitting here at the bottom of the barrel as my least favorite ones. Now we're coming to the number 3 spot, and that's going to be Halloween to Halloween Resurrection. So this is a timeline that I just, when it comes to this one, I have so much fun with the start of it. Of course, John Carpenter's Halloween is fantastic. I like Rick Rosenthal's Halloween 2. That's actually my second favorite Halloween film of all time. So that first 2 films, it's a great 1-2 punch. And then when we get to H2O, My relationship with H2O has soured on that film. Whereas when I was a kid in my teens and watching that film, I loved it. And it was one of my favorite Halloween films. You know, easy top three, probably H2O was easy in the top three. And then just over years and years, rewatching it and going back to it, I've noticed that, especially in the last 4 years, I've just soured on it more and more. And Halloween Resurrection is the other film in this franchise that I dislike. I cannot watch that film. I watched it before and I've seen it, and I just have no desire at all to watch that one because I think Halloween Resurrection is legit trash. Like I just dislike that film heavily. So when it comes to this timeline, I like watching the first two. Like I said, going to Halloween and Halloween 2, fantastic. Then we get to H2O and I'm like, I'm still having fun, but just not as much fun. But I have no desire ever to watch Resurrection after that because of the mistakes and the choices they made, especially with Laurie Strode's character and everything. And come to find out that Jamie Lee Curtis really just did Halloween Resurrection for a paycheck. That's why her character Laurie's like in the first like 7 minutes and then gets killed. You know, it's just completely shameful. I hate that film. So yeah, that's why this timeline, it's sitting here at number 3 though, because the first half of it is so strong. Like I will always watch Halloween and Halloween 2. But then, like I said, once we get halfway through into the H2O territory, that's when we're kind of leaning and falling off of a cliff almost. Now, this greatly surprised me when I was looking at the timelines and really thinking about them in my heart and like digesting them. I was like, yeah, my second timeline, my second favorite one, I'm going to have to go with Halloween to Halloween 2018 to Kills to Ends. And I know this is controversial because David Gordon Green's trilogy, when it was coming out, like these films, like it was a roller coaster of a ride, and especially emotions when it comes to the Halloween fandom, which can be toxic sometimes. But it was, like I said, a roller coaster ride because people were so on board with 2018. And then Kills happened and people loved Kills, and then Ends happened, and it just ended the timeline in such a weird way, a way that no one ever saw it going. So when it comes to this timeline, though, why it's second and to my favorite is when it comes to this, Halloween 2018 is very strong. That's my 5th favorite Halloween film, and Halloween Kills might not be above that one, but Halloween Kills has some of the best Michael Myers kills you're ever going to get in the franchise, and James Jude Courtney is an absolute force. So just to go through that timeline, the first 3 films are all solids for me. I give them positive ratings, and then we come to Halloween Ends, which is the one that I'm kind of middle of the road on. I don't hate that film or anything like I do Halloween Resurrection or like Halloween Rob Zombies 2. I don't dislike it that much, but Halloween Ends is one that I just, ending it on that note, I've felt a sour feeling in my mouth, or a sour taste in my mouth. But like I said, having 3 bangers when it comes to Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, that's what lifts this timeline up, and why, like, recently, yeah, I've rewatched them. I've been showing them, like I said, I showed my kids, I showed my son, and I rewatched these ones. As a matter of fact, out of all the Halloween films on this list, Halloween 2018 is officially like the only one that I've actually watched in October this year so far. Now we're here to talk about my favorite timeline, and this is probably a main reason is huge nostalgia, but this is the timeline that got me in love with this franchise. This is the timeline that I would binge with my friends or with buddies when they would come over and we would watch the Halloween franchises or the films. It was always Halloween, Halloween 2, then Halloween 4, then 5, and then Curse of Michael Myers. Taking that journey all the way, the Thorn trilogy, and I understand why some people hate this one, is because, like I said, the Thorn trilogy is kind of mishandled. When you look at Halloween 4, 5, and 6, I'm going to be honest with you all, there are some problems, and you can tell why the stories don't really connect, and how Halloween 5 did set up some things that Curse of Michael Myers had a problem trying to land or answer. But when it comes to this timeline, this is the one, like I said, with my buddies, or as a kid, I was always excited for. I would watch John Carpenter's Halloween, then go right into Halloween 2, and then the best feeling is going into Halloween 4, which has such good atmosphere, and then I'm a huge champion of Halloween 5. That's my 3rd favorite Halloween film of all time, and I do have a Halloween ranking that I have on the channel. I have that card in the top corner. You could click on that if you want my more in-depth thoughts on, more Halloween stuff. But when it comes to, like I said, the timeline, I will always know, most likely this is the franchise or the timeline that I'm going to be going through. Sorry if I could speak. I did work last night, so my mind's kind of frantic all over the place. But this is the timeline that I'm always going to call back to, the one that I'm always going to think about, or the one that I want to talk about the most. And like I said, if any of the other timelines didn't exist, I could erase all of them. If it was just Halloween 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, I would be a happy camper. I literally would not be mad if they never made another Halloween film, because the timeline just offers everything I wanted it. I mean, I love Jamie's character. I love Daniel Harris, the little crush as a crush when I was a kid, you know what I mean? I love that character, and Jamie taking that journey with her in those 3 films. I know it sucks that we didn't get Daniel Harris in Curse of Michael Myers, but it's just, that's the way it is sometimes when it comes to the movie business. One thing too is with Curse of Michael Myers, I was never that big on the producer's cut. I was big into seeing it. Like when I found out about the producer's cut, I definitely wanted to watch that version and check it out. But I am one of those people that prefers the theatrical cut to Curse of Michael Myers. So I hope you guys enjoyed this ranking of the Halloween timelines. Like I said, this is a really fun ranking that I came up with because I've never done this on the channel. I've talked about every Halloween film and I've reviewed every Halloween film and then ranked them, but I've never discussed which timelines I return to the most or why these ones are my favorite. And it was really cool to do this video too, to understand that, yeah, Halloween 2018 Kills and Ends is my second favorite timeline in the franchise. And like I said, how much I've soured on H2O and all that stuff and my feelings on the Rob Zombie timeline. So, but as I said in the beginning, these are just my thoughts, my feelings on the timelines. Please let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to discuss with you what are your favorites to return to and what is your favorite timeline in the Halloween franchise. But also, because it is Halloween, have an absolutely spooktacular day and you all stay safe out there. You know, that's the most important thing. Trick or treat.